in our suite? No.
Oh,
It's
not
you.
Jenny?
Not Jenny, it's you.
Not Bob? Or not,
Bob.
not John?
John's not there. Jenny right now, when I left, Jenny was the one up in the front office.
I left my phone at home.
Yeah. And Lenore wasn't in. Jenny was the one up front. TV right. I don't like driving. You know what's great today? Last weekend, Matthew finally got his old Suburban on my driveway. I got the washing machine and dryer out too. I cleaned the driveway.
Welcome to California State University at Monterey Bay's World Theater. Please turn off all electronic devices at this time. Emergency exits are located at the right and left of the theater. In case of emergency, please follow instructions from our staff. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you all for coming and joining us here today. I'm Michael Scott, Chair of the Academic Senate. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this ceremony and to be the first to welcome you to the 2017-18 academic year. The beginning of a new year always brings lots of excitement to our campus. Many of us have been at CSUMB at the start of many academic years. Some are here for the first time. Welcome to all. It is a good time to be at Cal State Monterey Bay. As most of you know, our campus continues to bring in outstanding students from across the state and increasingly from around the world. They are attracted by our locale, by our programs, and by our people. Our university's reputation is built by the faculty and staff who make this an outstanding learning and living environment. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Bonnie Irwin. Bonnie earned her degrees from UC Berkeley and returned to California in 2014 to serve as our provost. She has worked closely with faculty members and administrators to improve student retention and academic effectiveness. She has proven to be a collaborative leader who has built strong ties to the faculty and to the entire university community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Bonnie Irwin.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning. Okay, we are still awake. Good. I'd like to begin by thanking you all for being here today. The Day of Welcome is always a really special event on our campus as we prepare for the beginning of a new school year. This is a really busy time, and I appreciate all of you making the effort to attend today's event, even though we're all expecting to be somewhat distracted here in an hour by the eclipse, which we won't see, but yeah, whatever. As the school year begins, the Day of Welcome gives us the opportunity to consider where our university has been and where we're going. The Day of Welcome also provides us with a time to consider the contributions that each of our faculty and staff members makes to our university every day. When you talk to our most successful students, invariably they cite a few special teachers or staff members who made a big difference in their college years. The pride you show in your work, your willingness to go the extra mile for our students, all of that is what makes Cal State Monterey Bay a great place to learn and to work. The faculty and staff are the heart and soul of any outstanding university, and I salute you for all of your efforts because that's especially true here. Now I'd like to recognize those faculty members who earned tenure and promotion in the last academic year. Tenure and promotion are very significant accomplishments that represent the culmination of years of consistent performance in critical areas. Here at CSUMB, we have 4 areas in which faculty are evaluated for tenure and promotion. First, their scholarship in the area of teaching and learning. Second, their scholarship in the discovery, creation, and integration of knowledge. Third, their scholarship in the area of professional application, how they apply their work beyond the university community. And fourth, their contribution to university service. This year, we had 7 faculty members that were promoted to full professor. And if you're here, you can stand as I read your name. They weren't technically told that this was going to happen, so we'll see who's actually here. Dr. Kathy Draper Rodriguez, Education and Leadership Department. Dr. Joanne Lieberman, Mathematics and Statistics Department. Now this one I know is here because I saw him. Dr. Satya Narayanan, School of Computing and Design. There he is. Dr. Michael Scott, Mathematics and Statistics Department. Dr. Bood Su, School of Computing and Design. I know our next one is here too, Dr. Maria Villaseñor, School of Humanities and Communication. There she is. And Dr. Fred Watson, School of Natural Sciences. The following 7 faculty members received tenure and were promoted to Associate Professor or Librarian. Dr. Patrick Belanger, School of Humanities and Communication. Dr. Ranu Sinha, Psychology Department. Dr. Cheryl Logan, School of Natural Sciences. Dr. Lisa Leininger, Kinesiology Department. There she is. Dr. Ryan Luke, Kinesiology Department. Dr. Joanna Morrissey, Kinesiology Department. And Dr. Lisa Stewart, Social Work Department. We would also like to recognize individuals who are in their first year of employment at the university. They have received special name tags. I see them. They have the ribbons with the name tags. I hope you will all take the opportunity to make them feel at home here at CSUMB and introduce yourself after the State of the University. Would the new employees please stand so we can recognize you together? All right. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our main speaker for this morning, our president, Dr. Eduardo Ochoa. Eduardo is now in his 6th year as our campus's president. His emphasis on inclusion and outreach reflects both the vision statement of the campus and the realities of serving a student body made up of a majority of first-generation students. As president, he has refocused attention on raising the university's retention and graduation rates while stressing the importance of a rigorous educational experience. And he has strengthened the university's role in community outreach and economic development. Please welcome President Eduardo Ochoa.
Good morning, and welcome to everyone who's joining us here today for the start of a new academic year at California State University, Monterey Bay. I would like to begin by telling you that I checked with the NASA Eclipse website, and it told me, first of all, that in our area the eclipse will be partial, not total, and that it will start at 9:01 a.m., reach maximum coverage at 10:15 a.m., and end at 11:37 a.m. So we should all be out in plenty of time to see the eclipse if the skies were to part, as long as I'm not interrupted too often by applause. No, but actually, and I'll tell you this, and I hope they don't start the feed until my talk is over, but I understand that they're going to be showing it on the monitors in the lobby, the feed from NASA of the eclipse. So we'll be able to take a look at there, even if we can't see it directly. Now, I'd like to join Provost Irwin in welcoming all of our new employees in the audience, and also congratulating our faculty who've achieved tenure and promotion. So congratulations and welcome. When we have job openings at CSUMB for faculty, staff, or administrative positions, we attract many outstanding applicants. You folks are the best of the best, and it's great to have you with us. Please stay around for a few minutes afterwards so that we may get a group photo of our newest honors. Also, my thanks to the World Theater staff and the University Ceremonies and Events team who organized today's event in the midst of a particularly busy time for our campus. So I hope everyone had a chance to sample some of the pre-event refreshments, that you'll be able to stay for at least a few minutes to enjoy some post-event conversation with your colleagues. I also want to announce that the President's Award is back. In September, you will have the opportunity to nominate staff, faculty, and MPPs who will be recognized at 2 events: our annual Staff and Faculty Appreciation Breakfast on January 18, 2018, and a luncheon sponsored by the President's Office. Next week, I will send out further details, so stay tuned. Last year at the Day of Welcome, I outlined 3 areas of particular focus for the 2016-17 academic year. All are ongoing efforts, so I think it's important to keep you updated on how we're doing. Our first goal was to put the university's budget on a more sustainable path. We are well on our way to doing exactly that. In this year's state budget, we were fortunate to receive funding to support 200 additional full-time equivalent students. However, as you may know, our enrollment has exceeded in recent years the level funded by the state, so we plan to apply most of that money toward backfilling the support for students at the current enrollment levels. Money earmarked to support the CSU's graduation initiative will help fund increased services to enhance student success. And actions we have taken across the university have reduced our structural deficit, and I appreciate your cooperation in finding things to cut and in cost reductions and in deferred spending. So as a result, this year's budget looks like it will be essentially break even, which is a good place for us to be at. I appreciate the willingness of all of you to take those steps necessary to deal with the budget issues over the past 2 years, because they did do real damage to our university's future plans. The overall state budget picture makes it unlikely that we will see much new money to support substantially increased in-state enrollment in the near future. Still, we are seeking other growth opportunities. We want to continue to increase our enrollment of international students, and we'll be looking at ways to attract out-of-state domestic students, as well as increasing enrollment in self-support programs. You know, the CSU has a guideline for international enrollment of that it should be no more than 10% of total enrollment. We are well below that, so we do have room to grow in that area. The system has not taken any explicit policy position on domestic out-of-state students, but in conversations I've had with the Chancellor, he's given me verbal support for the notion that that might conceivably go up to another 10%, although I don't see that happening. I don't see us reaching that level anytime soon. All of these types of enrollment generate full cost revenues and therefore do not supplant or restrict California resident enrollment. In addition, there are good pedagogical and mission-based rationales for increasing these types of enrollment. International and domestic out-of-state students add to the diversity of the student body and the richness of the educational experience for all students. Self-support programs are mostly graduate programs, although not all, and they're typically sharply focused on career paths to high-demand, well-paid jobs that address regional industry needs. Another of the goals I put forward last year was the creation of a more inclusive and respectful community. Of course, this became an even more important and challenging task as the year went on, given the passions that were ignited by the 2016 presidential election. I believe our campus community did well to come together and share our thoughts and concerns in the wake of that election. I would like to restate our assurances that our university and the entire CSU remain unwavering in our commitment to the values of respect, equity, and inclusion that are fundamental to our institution. We fully support and will protect the rights of DACA students who seek to fulfill their educational dreams here at CSUMB. You may have seen a statement that I sent out in an email message to the campus community in the wake of the events in Charlottesville. Following up on that, I just minutes ago read a very powerful and thoughtful op-ed piece by the historian Eric Foner on the significance of Confederate monuments in the New York Times. So I recommend that article to you. At our university, we want to make certain that all human beings are valued regardless of differences. Reasoned, respectful discussion and debate in the search for truth are our touchstones. The hatred and violence we saw on display last week in Charlottesville has no place here. We seek to provide a positive, transformational learning experience for all of our students. And in fact, the opportunities for interaction and mutual learning provided by our diversity are key contributors to that experience for all of our students. Their success and their flourishing is our shared goal. This dialogue about campus climate will continue into the new school year. The President's Committee on Equity and Inclusion is in the final stages of drafting the campus equity plan based on data from the diversity mapping and climate study. The plan will be widely vetted this fall. The plan includes mandatory diversity training for all managers. We feel that this will strongly support the goal of creating a respectful and inclusive campus. A third goal I put forward at last year's Day of Welcome is closely tied to the second, to enable success for every student. Of course, that relates directly to the CSU's Graduation Initiative 2025. Again, as a result of a campus-wide effort, we see the numbers for retention and graduation moving steadily in the right direction across the board. However, there's still more to do. The fact remains that about 40% of students who come to our university as freshmen do not earn degrees even in 6 years. It is important for us to continue to create clear and efficient academic pathways to diplomas. We have found that students graduating from CSUMB have earned an average of 141 credit hours. Baccalaureate degrees, of course, only require 120 credit hours. It is a fact of academic life that many students change majors. So we want to align courses in similar majors to make those transitions easier. And we are adopting Smart Planner, which is a software that allows students to plot their path to a degree online and helps us know how many sections of classes we will need to offer. We love our students, but we don't want them to stick around any longer than they have to. We have added to our advising staff and are instituting mandated visits to advisors at critical junctures in our students' academic careers to be sure they're on the right track. We're examining basic classes with high failure rates to see how we can teach those classes better. And when I say we, I mean an effort by all of you that is really spearheaded by our provost, Bonnie Irwin. We will be guided by two principles. We want to make sure that the improvements in performance are reflected across our entire student body. And we will not sacrifice quality. Our students still must have a rigorous educational experience. Of course, to be fully effective, strong academic preparation must begin long before our students come to CSUMB. In that regard, I'm sure most of you know that the Bright Futures Cradle to Career Educational Partnership has been a priority of mine since I came to CSUMB. Bright Futures is dedicated to the idea that every child should be prepared for school and should be successful both in and outside of school. The goal is for students to complete a post-high school credential and enter a promising career. We want Bright Futures to be a community-wide effort, a catalyst for change, a hub of innovation, and a broker of solutions that work. We want to make certain that more members of our community are prepared to take advantage of what CSUMB has to offer. The partners in Bright Futures cover a wide range of education, business, government, and charitable groups. And they have adopted a big goal: increasing the number of students receiving a post-high school credential from 20% to 60% by 2026 for Monterey County. They're also focusing and gathering data on 7 intermediate goals that will help determine progress at each step along the way. Our Provost Bonnie Irwin and our Education Dean Jose Luis Alvarado are part of the leadership group for Bright Futures. And in the months ahead, you will be hearing more about its connections to our campus and how your department or office can contribute to this effort. A new initiative that builds on our long-standing commitment to serve our community is the Center for Arts, Culture, and Humanities that we will establish at CSUMB at Salinas City Center. When the University Corporation purchased the National Steinbeck Center's building in downtown Salinas, our goal was to bring our programs closer to the people of Salinas and the Salinas Valley. This newly established center will be an important step in that direction. We see it as a way to build on the existing programs of the National Steinbeck Center and to create a focal point for a range of cultural programs in the renewed downtown of our county's largest city. We see it as a home for lectures and exhibits, which could be curated by CSUMB students. We want to showcase our exceptional programs in a way that will be easily accessible to more county residents. And we can offer community-based programs for younger students to build stronger ties between them and our university. Professor Enid Baxter Rice has agreed to serve as interim director of the center, and we thank her for that. This is another program we expect to hear much more about in the months ahead. Is Professor Rice here? Okay, we'll thank her when you see her. We're also planning to offer classes at CSUMB at North Salinas, the former Heald College building, in the upcoming semester. While community outreach continues to be a vital part of the CSUMB mission, the campus where we gather today remains a primary focus. Those of you returning to campus after a summer away may have found yourselves looking twice at the area between 6th and 7th Streets as you drove up Inter-Garrison Road. Where did the ugly buildings go? Be assured that the removal of the old hammerheads is continuing apace, and you will see more of them disappear during the school year and into next summer. That demolition and our plans for those vacated sites are reflected in our revised master plan. Over the course of the 2016-17 academic year, the content of the master plan was developed into 2 publicly shared draft documents. More than 20 meetings were held with regional and campus partners to discuss the revised plan. A draft environmental impact report will be prepared during the upcoming school year. Once the impact report is received and finalized, it will go to the CSU Board of Trustees for certification. Meanwhile, the transformation of our campus will continue as we break ground for 2 new buildings in the upcoming academic year. Construction begins this fall for the new academic building, which will house the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. The building is scheduled for completion in time for the fall 2019 semester. The new Student Union building is slated to begin construction in January, adjacent to the existing Student Center. The building will house activity spaces, meeting rooms, lounges, food service, bookstore, retail space, rooms for student clubs and organizations, and administrative and support spaces. Our new academic building for the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences is aiming for Gold LEED and the Student Union for Silver LEED certification. The Joel and Dina Gambord Business and Information Technology Building, which we opened in 2015, has been awarded the LEED Platinum certification, the highest achievable level. Congratulations to the design and construction teams for their efforts in achieving this goal. I realize that I bring up the subject of parking at my peril, but the new consolidated parking lot 59, located on 7th Avenue south of A Street, will serve as a replacement parking in anticipation of the new academic building and Student Union building. The lot has many safety features, including raised pedestrian walkways, improved lighting, accessible parking and security cameras, as well as infrastructure for electric vehicle charging stalls. Of course, the continued progress of our campus is a source of great pride to us all. We're looking more like a modern university campus all the time. However, we realize that a university is not simply its classrooms, its labs, its libraries, or even its parking lots. Since it began, our university has been blessed with an innovative vision statement that put forward the ideas and goals for our university's founders. In calling for service-based learning, a multicultural global curriculum, community partnerships, and outreach to underserved populations, the founding vision was ahead of its time and has been a guiding star for our campus. However, just as the physical master plan requires periodic updating to reflect new circumstances, so too we should re-examine our university's vision in light of today's challenges. As former President Jimmy Carter once said, we must adjust to changing times and still hold on to unchanging principles. I have set aside a day, November 20th, for us to gather as a campus community to reflect upon, examine, and discuss our university's founding vision statement and help set a course for CSUMB as we move forward. We will do so as a prologue to the process of drafting a new university strategic plan, which will be done during the spring semester. The results of the Vision Retreat on November 20 will help inform the deliberations of the Campus Strategic Budget Committee in drafting that strategic plan. With our plans being formed to celebrate Cal State Monterey Bay's Silver Jubilee in the 2019-20 academic year, this seems a particularly auspicious time for us to re-examine who we are as a university and what we want to become in the next 25 years. You will all receive more information about this event in the coming weeks. I hope as many of you as possible will make time to participate in this important conversation. I would like to conclude by expanding on just one of the statements of the founding vision, the one that calls on our university to be a, quote, model pluralistic academic community where all learn and teach one another in an atmosphere of mutual respect and pursuit of excellence. Never has that quest been more relevant than it is today. As you well know, we live in an era of political polarization, a time when the public conversation is full of references to alternative facts and fake news. But make no mistake, facts are still facts. History still has many lessons for us. An understanding of our culture, how it has changed and how it will continue to evolve, is still a vital part of being an informed citizen and a wise voter. The internet has opened up vast stores of information to us all, vast stores of misinformation as well. Once there were gatekeepers in the media who tried to separate the valuable from the frivolous, the facts from the alternative facts. Now that job falls to every one of us and to every one of our students. We want, and our society needs, CSUMB graduates who can use the critical thinking skills they learn here to make those decisions. We need to promote an atmosphere of mutual respect and pursuit of excellence. We need to be willing to listen to and engage with different points of view. And we must never give in to cynicism and despair. The many controversies in Washington, D.C. today have caused some news analysts to look back to the Watergate era when a scandal ended a presidency. Barbara Jordan of Texas was a member of the House Judiciary Committee during that tumultuous time. Representative Jordan was the first African-American woman ever to be elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from a southern state. A teacher, a lawmaker, a civil rights advocate, Representative Jordan once said, and I quote, let each person do his or her part. If one citizen is unwilling to participate, all of us are going to suffer. For the American dream, though it is shared by all of us, is realized in each one of us. And to reinforce and extend this point, let me add the well-known quote from the great leader and advocate for social justice, Mahatma Gandhi. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. That is our responsibility, individually and collectively. It is a lofty aspiration, but I believe we, as a university and as a society, are up to the challenge. Thank you for coming today, and thanks for all you do for Cal State Monterey Bay. Now please join us on the patio for refreshments and take this opportunity to welcome our new employees.